the thing that I'm really, really worried about is this. We have a monster who is destroying the underpinnings of this country. Now, granted, there are underpinnings of this country that need to be destroyed, but not by a monster like Donald Trump. But Trump's principles of leadership, if he has any, which I don't think he does, are all about destruction. The planet is heading for one of several different disasters: overpopulation, global warming, the expected increase in diseases that are totally resistant to any sort of a treatment, the continuing destruction of environment. All of these are issues that require cooperation, global cooperation, but they also require leadership. The leadership will never, ever come from Donald Trump, and possibly never from the United States again. Trump has taken a crowbar to the United States, and he continues every day that he's in office. There is a point beyond which the country can't be reconstituted. It can't be. The pieces can't be put back together. And I don't know if we've reached that point or not. I know we've reached a tipping point in global warming, in climate change. Which is not all of Trump's, the result of Trump's policies or lack thereof. But his policies or lack of policies are making a horrific situation unspeakable, going from the catastrophic to the cataclysmic. And I don't know if we are going to be able to survive. I honestly don't. That thing about using the Sharpie to alter a National Weather Service map so that Trump could say, see, it's going to hit Alabama. I know that. My God. CNN reported on Sunday, consider the Sharpie, the iconic, proudly permanent marker, quote, born for unique, unruly, courageous, outrageous self-expression that never, ever fades from glory, end quote. That's according to the manufacturer of the Sharpies. However, it's a tool that also might have been expressly invented for the monster in the White House. This past Wednesday, of course, Trump displayed this hurricane forecast map in the monster's den, and it appeared crudely altered as with, a bold-tipped black marker to back up the monster's insistence that Hurricane Dorian had in fact presented a serious threat to Alabama. And he did this days after it had turned north up the East Coast. The writer Michael D'Antonio said, quote, a Sharpie writer forces others to pay closer attention. The tool that the White House selected, it's unclear whether or not Trump himself made the alteration, but the tool selected to make an impression seems to reveal more than Trump might have wanted. Like a grade schooler's attempt to turn a report card D into a B, the line added to the weather map only drew more attention to the reality the scrawl was intended to cover up. Ill-informed about the hurricane he was supposedly monitoring, Trump offered not the truth, but a forgery. End quote. Now, as you know everything I'm talking about today, over the previous weekend, even as Dorian began to eliminate the Bahamas, everything in the Bahamas that was a man-made structure or that wasn't part of the rocky islands themselves. In that time, Trump was tweeting comments on everything from media to his panic about the economy, to his weather reports. On Sunday, Trump claimed, for example, that Dorian could hit Alabama. The Weather Service says it's not true. After the Weather Service corrected the record and said Alabama is not threatened, Trump made the same claim again and again and again, and then he accused his own Weather Service of issuing a phony report. Now, this is how Trump's destruction is eating into, pardon the expression, the fabric of this entire society. He has tried to destroy the Justice Department by appointing a junior monster to corrupt it further. He tried to destroy the FBI. He has destroyed the regulatory agencies by placing thugs in charge of all of them. He has weakened and destroyed the educational system and the military. And now he's trying to weaken and destroy whatever faith we have in our weather reports. And the son of a bitch continues in office. The tweets that he issued point to a president who am I quoting here? Jill Filipovic. Who is she? I guess somebody connected with CNN. Anyway, according to her, quote, the tweets point to a president who appears for all the world to be slipping. A man whose empathy is absent, who obviously lacks intellectual understanding of basic concepts, end quote. Well, okay, that's not a news flash. We've known this since this monster. I could call him a crazy son of a bitch, but so what? He's so far beyond being a crazy son of a bitch. That would be a compliment to the monster Trump. But, you know, to reference his insanity is ridiculous at this point, in addition to being hideously redundant. But Frida Gitas, who is a writer for CNN, notes that he is leaving a permanent mark. She wrote, quote, the Trump administration is taking $3.6 billion from approved military construction projects to pay for part of his wall. Yeah, that wall. The one that Trump said Mexico would pay for. Do you remember the chants that he used to get his brain-dead, mouth-breathing, psychotic, Nazi-influenced followers to scream and froth at the mouth in those Hitler rallies? Do you remember that? Who's going to pay for it? Mexico! Remember all that? Mexico more or less told him that they were not going to do it. So projects now in 23 states, 3 territories, and funding for projects overseas are going to lose money, or their funding altogether. Ms. Gitas wrote, quote, he is hurting the military and military families. He's harming national security. He is politicizing the Defense Department. He's playing games with the Constitution, all for his own political benefit, end quote. And his financial benefit, too. And I don't understand why. Poor naive Mike Malloy. I don't understand why he hasn't been removed from office, why the members of the House and the Senate have not said to themselves, this has got to stop. I know the Republican Party is not worth a piece of used bathroom tissue at this point. It really, really isn't. Not that it ever was. Well, it was at one time. I mean, come on. But it started to self-destruct, I should say, with the first election of Reagan. And with the ascension to power of thugs and monsters like Moscow Mitch McConnell, the Republican Party has just ended. This collection of representatives and senators who claim to be Republicans. Jim Jordan comes to mind. Oh, my God. Most of the members, the Republican members of the North Carolina congressional delegation, I mean, it just goes on, have become not even shadows of the old Republican Party. It's much worse than that. They have become like zombies of the old Republican Party. They're just zombies. The Republican Party is dead. It is dead. And if the Democrats don't come up with effective leadership and try to repair things, the Democratic Party will die also. But that's not now. Now is the Republican Party is dead. It just won't stay buried. There's zombies stalking all over the House and the Senate chambers, led by the zombie Mitch McConnell. Oh, my God. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to the ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.